This is Arukh HaShulchan. You're there, Simon Lamed Vav, Sif Test Vav to your test. This is day 214 of the Supplemental Arukh HaShulchan Yomi cycle. Okay. Test one. If you have a lung in which you hear an echo, also when you inflate it. It's because there's some wind coming out of some hole. If you can tell which place you're hearing an echo, you put on this place roke, some saliva, or a thin piece of straw. If the saliva or the straw will vibrate, there's a hole there. It's treif. If you can't tell where the place is, potion. You put it in lukewarm water, much like you would find a puncture in a tire. Sipe brown and potion, and Sipe we explain what lukewarm is. You can put the water in any vessel you want. Even we're checking for a shriveled lung, we're seeing Sif Ayin base, the Ba'ina Kli Yuchedes, you need a special keli for this. Because it has to soak for 24 hours in the water. As opposed to the Shulchan, which is a short amount of time. Enkoshim is a keli, we're not concerned what kind of vessel you're using. Yoshim, that's too short. Yoshim, some say the Gam Kan Tzarech Sheyeh, Tzarech also keli, she's Barasham, but here too we need to have the same keli we use there. See, that's the Shach. Pa'ikon Yerk there, it seems that the full short is correct. When you put it into the vessel, we inflate it. Look, if there's a bubbling in the water, based on mokum someplace, treifa. It's treifim, lav ksherim. There's no bubbling. It's as clear-cut evidence that there is no hole in the upper membrane. Only the bottom membrane has been pierced. And the wind is traveling between the two membranes. That's where that echo when we inflate it. We already learned that if only one membrane is punctured, it's not a problem. This check, it's mandatory, according to the law of the Gemara. Therefore, those say that we're not conversant in it. It's treif no matter what. Come on with samka as similar to where lung has shriveled. Paskins, they know no bekim, we're not conversant in adept at this kind of check. The Shor writes this, and so Shach named Aguda. Mildas have been Ramah, but the opinion of Ramah, Shloiga Kanu does not say here that's Ram. He doesn't say here, they know Bekim, that we're not adept to this type of check. Mash Media seems quite clear. The share that he holds, the Bizan, no Bekim, that with this we are Bucky. It's not like the checking of a shriveled lung. You have to leave the lung in the water for 24 hours. That's it's very difficult to understand. The actual check itself is hard to understand. Shaking kind is supposed to hear, but for a short amount of time, and see if there's bubbling. The Kamanachli became said we also are adept at this. That's the Shach. The Vush holds this way, the Bach, and it seems away from the Taz. Also from the Shlema Luria. The Marshal. I don't know what kind of adeptness you need of this. So it's good. It's not rocket science, so to speak. And if there's substantial loss, you can rely on our check. You'd say if it's African potion, but it's only lukewarm. If it's hot water or Korea cold water, then the check is not effective. If you just put the lung in hot water or karim or cold water, you can't do any check at all afterwards. The reason is the Chazal say the hot water contracts the membrane, and closes up the hole. And the cold water toughens it. It makes it tough like a stone. This way the hole gets stopped up. That's the run. So at that point, automatically, what goes going to check in lukewarm water? Since the hole has already been closed up by the hot or cold water, and still can be treif. The bracket says, there's also true by shriveled lung with tzarachin. Not sure why it's tzarachin. Yuches kafar is bar v'sof siman chaf hey. We already explained the nishchata b'ches kaseter medis. Once it's shechted, it is assumed to be mutter. Chosafik she'ira balachar shenishla. Any doubt which arises after shchita karoi, after shenishla karoi, after it's properly shechted. Yesafik, and there's a question. If not, according to shchita, if it happened before the shchita, treifa, it's treif. After shchita, it happened after shchita, it's kosher. In Raki Yeshamal Itlos, there's what to assume happened, which would make it okay. Tolin alacha shchita, we assume it happened after shchita. Mami asachas kasa, and we place the animal on its chazaka. So acha shchita, its status of after shchita. Shomda b'ches kaseter, when it's considered to be mutter. But if it's still the floor rides, it's still kosher. So Rabbi Mashkir said, because most animals are kosher. Therefore, we don't remove it from its assumption of status of heter. It's going to be length later on. You test the pichach. Therefore, if you find a puncture in the lung, a place you can assume it happened after shchita. Such as the sheikh moved his hand around with strength, plucked it out with strength. Was taken by a wolf, or keleb, or a dog, because during the kuvan it came back with a puncture. So we assume that it was done after shchita ksheira. But lomi by the kavashim makom shinav. And it goes without saying with the holes which are the place where the teeth marks are to be found. We don't assume that those are teeth marks. We don't assume there was a hole there previously. But in there are places where we don't necessarily know that the teeth of the dog or the wolf reached. So in the kula b'zeva, we assume it all came from the wolf or the dog. Because it was nishla b'ches kaseter. For me, we say shenoshim makom zeh. We say the bit here, but shenoshim makom achid, bit there. Beitzach l'sos nekem makom achid. Those to make another hole with damas and koim zeh and compare the holes to each other, like you have to do with worms. Sheis Boraz will be explained later on. Siflan vav. So the damas, you have to make a comparison. Here it's simple. The kamish jazebo natala, since a wolf or a dog took it, vari hushin nishu nikon, he must have made the holes. That's the shach. Not only that, if you put it next to another hole, which is made after shchita, and they don't seem similar to each other, can't kosher, still kosher. Because of the chazaka, she's butter. We assume that the ches kaseter still is in effect. But we say say even though two holes are made after shchita and they don't seem to be comparable, and they don't necessarily be similar, that's also shach. Pre-chodesh is machir in this case. However, when you even pre-chodesh, if you can make an assumption, because of the difference in air, I guess how long it's been exposed to the air, and they're not comparable. Because of people touching it, people manipulating it. Here they manipulate it more than the other hole, even according to the pre-chodesh. That is in the Tvua Shor and Pri Megadim, and that's it for today.